Hello and welcome to Gartenseile. Today we want to focus on the big topic of strawberries. What kind of care do strawberries need to bear plenty of fruit? In this video, we want to share 10 tips for good care. Have fun watching. Strawberries are not only incredibly delicious, but they are also relatively easy to grow, so that you can still achieve optimal harvest results and get plenty of delicious strawberries from your plant. We have put together 10 basic care tips for you. The first tip is already about the right location. Strawberries love the sun, so place them in a sunny spot where at least 6 hours of direct sunlight can shine on the strawberries. Tip 2 concerns the planting distances. You should leave a minimum distance of 25 centimeters between each strawberry plant. This is how you prevent mold infestation. Now let's move on to the third tip for optimal soil conditions. For planting your strawberries, you should use seedling or herb soil. Regular potting soil is usually very rich in minerals, which can lead to over-fertilization of the plant. Additionally, strawberries need well-draining soil. They really don't like waterlogging. Tip 4 relates to fertilization. Strawberries need plenty of nutrients in the soil because they have to expend a lot of energy for fruit formation. You should therefore fertilize your strawberries regularly. You should know exactly what kind of plant you have in front of you. For ever-bearing strawberries, you fertilize them once in the fall and once in the spring, while June-bearing strawberries need regular fertilization throughout the entire growing season, from May to October. Now let's move on to the fifth tip, which is about optimal watering. Keep the soil moist, evenly moist, but not too wet. Strawberries don't like excessive moisture. Additionally, high humidity can promote mold growth and rot. Drip irrigation systems or clay pots are a wonderful alternative here. When watering, you should generally make sure to water the plant directly at the roots, avoiding the leaves and strawberries as much as possible. Additionally, you should water your strawberries in the early morning hours and not in the blazing midday sun. Otherwise, it can lead to leaf burns. Watering in the midday sun. Otherwise, it can lead to leaf burns. Tip 6 addresses the topic of disease prevention. Since strawberry fruits are sensitive to too much moisture and can rot or even burst, you should cover the soil with some bark mulch, straw, hay, or garden fabric to keep the fruits as dry as possible. You should also regularly check all parts of the plants for diseases and pest infestations and remove any affected parts. The sooner you act, the better. Now let's move on to our seventh tip, which is about pruning and removing runners. Shortly after planting young strawberries, you should remove the first flower buds. This encourages the plant to grow more and thus produce even more fruit later on. Additionally, the strawberries should be pruned back after the harvest season, which is from July to October, depending on the variety. Feel free to be generous with this, but be careful not to damage the core of the plant. Our eighth tip has to do with pruning, but this time it's about propagating strawberries. As they grow, strawberries produce many runners, which weaken the plant overall and thus your harvest. That's why you should regularly cut off the runners. If you want to grow new plants from the runners and propagate them, place them in a glass where they can develop roots. Later, you can then plant these as new plants in your bed. You should regularly replace your strawberries with young plants because on average, a plant only reaches its optimal yield for 2 years, at most 4 years. After that, strawberry production declines rapidly. Tip 9. It addresses the topic of cleanliness. You should keep the strawberry bed free of weeds and other wild-growing plants as they compete with the strawberry plant for water and nutrients. Now let's move on to our 10th and a final tip on strawberry care, which is about protecting against birds. Even high up in the skies there can be predators lurking. To prevent the birds from pecking at your delicious strawberries, you can set up a scarecrow or stretch a net over your bed. Those were our 10 care tips for strawberries. Now we wish you good luck and a successful, bountiful gardening year. We hope you enjoyed this video. If so, subscribe. So go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss any more videos. Feel free to check out our other videos on the topic of strawberry and vegetable cultivation. You can find the links on the left, as always, in the video description. If you're more of a fan of the written word and are interested in gardening, feel free to check out our gardening magazine at www.gartenseil.de. Until next time.